Hi, it's Michelle Turner, and I just wanted to talk about movement as a system. We tend to look at pieces and parts. I have a heart problem, I go to a cardiologist. I have a lung problem, I go to a pulmonologist, etc. Fundamental learning, where everything's kind of separate. So people don't look at, oh, I have a problem with my knee. Well, maybe it's because my scapula on my left side's not moving right. And that's where I'm a movement specialist or an integration specialist, because I'm looking to see where the system has glitches in it, just like almost like a computer system. I mean, we're a fascinating system. So I want you to pay attention to just rolling over or coming onto all fours, but concentrate on my right foot. So when I'm in this position, people think that when I come over to this side, it's crossing midline. I'm crossing midline. But there are a lot of things that are happening, and one of them too, is, as you see, is a rotation of my right ankle, or my left ankle for that. But just for now, concentrate on the right. I even wore my striped pants today to watch that connection. But as you rotate, so let's say right now in this position, if I had even AFOs on, now I'm in this position. So now I have to work that much more and I'm even having a hard time thinking about how to keep my feet into right angles to come over here. And in this position, I can't do it. So I would have to work that much harder by either getting my foot out of the way to come over to here. And that's where children are very intelligent. They don't work that hard. None of us should work that hard to move. You know, it shouldn't be work to be in our own bodies. So again, if I'm here and I'm a kid, right, and I'm contracting, now I'll get spasms through this. When my foot's in contraction like that, as a movement specialist, I know darn well I'm not going to get this child into side sitting, because there's way too much contractions going on here that the system is not going to go into side sitting. They literally have to lie down in this position to get this leg back, because when I contract like that, I can't even bring my back up to be in sitting. Like if I let the foot go, I can come up here. So the whole system talks in the efficiency. So this is where I had an interesting question that someone says when a child's in all fours or can't be in all fours, they're looking for upper body strength. So let's just look at that conversation. So I'm side sitting, and again, keep a concentration on my foot, but you don't have to watch the foot the whole time. So I can be in this position, correct? I can go pretty low with my hands out. Now, yes, I'm using muscles, I get that, but there's still a counterbalance, there's still a conversation that's going on with my vestibular that's worked out. So in other words, I'm not going forward to here or even forward to here and face planting. So when a child's delayed and people are looking for this is the beginnings of all fours. Can I counterbalance and go down just on one elbow? Do I have to fall down? Now I'm here, so now I'm squished over, and a mom's running over to pick up their child. Now, with a typical baby, those kind of things are going to happen because they're still working in their bodies, and that's why they're so small. It doesn't really hurt to fall down. Fall down is not as traumatic. And that's why it's much harder to teach a 4-year-old these habits, much less a 34-year-old these habits, etc. Because if you want to work on it, so, I mean, again, I know my proportions, so if I want to lie down, even to something like this. Now, going back to the system, I'm just going to curl these toes. Same thing. For me, with these curled toes to come down, it's just not the same. And now I'm kind of stuck. Whereas if my toes were undone, I can then come around and come like this. But if they're here, I can do it, but now I have that organization of the thing of the pelvis going on. And it just becomes, now I'm going to fall. Versus, and it's harder for me to balance on the end of my table versus feet out, where I can now go back up again. So when you're looking to suddenly go onto all fours, I'm going to just do it now, so I'm going to go up to all fours, and I'm coming back down again. Now again, this time again, watch it with the foot. Notice how my foot rolls into position. I'm not keeping my foot like this and getting up on all fours. See, now I'm stuck right here. I cannot, unless I start doing undue tension, but to keep my foot like this and to get up on all fours, it's a very difficult, very mind over matter thing, which again, kids don't have. So they're going to get to about here and go back down again. So it's not a point of upper body strength. Yes, it helps that I have arms to support myself. I get that. But true inner core is when I can either present my hands or not present my hands. Taking them away at this point, I'm not falling down. So I have that neutral. I can go up and I can go up. Now again, I can go up and go around and be free. So to work on the pelvis and watch the pelvis, watch to see if your child's bringing that foot around, because that foot coming in around, see now even here, see again it's the foot that brings the pelvis. And I know I'm being a little dramatic, but I want to just prove my point. So now watch in this position, the foot and keep on the line of the pants. So when I counterbalance, I'm going to bring my weight over to my left side, counterbalance, and I'm bringing now my foot around. This is a pre-stand. So if I had, again, where I'm in AFOs, let's say, and now my feet are going to be 90-degree angles, for me to counter, right here I'm stuck. Now I can force through it because I'm a grown adult, grown adults force through, but even to force through, keeping my foot at a right angle, I get to about here. To get here, and then to push over to here is nearly impossible, especially if you had all the plastic, and also you're adding the weights to it. So let's say my foot's contracted, like this. So if I have a contracted foot, again, even to counterbalance at that point is very difficult, and to bring it around it is just impossible. My buttocks actually on the left side spazzing out. So look to see the rotation, and you can go back, by the way, and watch this whole conversation with the rotation of the wrist. Same thing. You're going to see my wrists where they can rotate around. If I had a fixed hand like this, again, even with the hand to bring my leg up to here to stand, now my head's down. I can't arch my back to get up versus if I was here. Just that little bit versus this changes the whole proportion of the way my system's working at. So those are the ways to sort of look at movement. I've said it before. If any questions about what you or your child are doing, but more so your child, put yourself in that position. Really just watch them and notice. Oh wow, they always are twisting, just even if it was just this pinky. Watch the difference just on this pinky for me to get up on all floors. So it's not as obvious. But see, at this point now, this is where my hand's going to have a hard time getting up before, because I somehow have a habitual contraction with the hand in this position. So now that's where my balance and bringing my head up is going to cause movement organization issues. Can these be superseded? Absolutely, but that's where you're going to need help. So again, just watch to see just how the foot works around a child's movement. And you really need free feet. To do something like this, you need free hands. To do something like this, again, it's neutral, up on all fours, neutral, up on all fours. I contract my hands. Now, again, just to do the midline, and here is where my bum's going to be really heavy to get up because my hands are contracted. So, movement's just interesting. So is there a way now of working the rotation of that heel around the pelvis to bring a person actually into standing? Because that's all standing is just coming up and you're standing. So it looks simple when it works out right, but the problem is when you start having delays, these kind of little glitches are what are really overlooked. So when someone's telling you your child's not on all fours because they need a stronger upper body, no, you really have to go back, look at the vestibular, look at the rotation through the pelvis, and then the rotation through the hands and the feet. And you'll see that, as well as in the rotation of the head. These, I guess, they do come more complex, but hopefully this will give you a different ways of looking at children or your own child, whether you're a professional or your parent, and work with your child for them to become more efficient. Because that's all life is who's doing it the most efficiently. And movement efficiently is the answer to everything. If you move efficiently, you think efficiently. It's just, it goes hand in hand. It's not separate. So, think about it. Thanks, bye.